ever watched the interesting documentary Generation Wealth 2018, where gold poor people bathe in champagne and money glides into the air? Or some reportage about Dubai, or perhaps while watching an American film, it occurred to you how it's possible for one person to live in such luxuries, in such space, with so many pieces of clothing, equipment, cars, appliances. In one comedy, the intern, Robert De Niro, a 70-year-old widower deciding to run for apprentice positions in a start-up, opens his wardrobe and 100 suits reveal their splendor. In another, The Holiday from 2005 from Cameron Diaz with Kate Winslet, they swept flats. Even Kate herself was taken aback by the glut of records, outfits and luxuries in Cameron's home. You can happily add to this list with new ones from recent years. Consumerism is undoubtedly on the rise, and there seems to be no limit. Our spending on consumption, including often on goods and services being a label that they are sustainable or green, and sometimes even without such a label, is growing. See this one article for yourselves. How does this explain our needs growing indefinitely? What is the point here? And why do so many people spend resources in such a senseless way, instead of helping poor children or drying planet? Where is the sense and logic? After all, we already have hundreds of suits, dresses, etc. What can another similarly expensive choice offer me? After all, marginal utility should be falling economic schemes. After all, needs are bound to be satisfied already, one or another psychological theory may shout. Ethics just wrings its hands and cries in the corner, left out completely, unless it only is called to the blackboard when it sees the label eco-friendly, no slaves, recycled. But isn't that greenwashing? And sociology is rubbing its hands. It's time to show what role it has in explaining this problem. Could it be some modern sociologist? And no, quite an age-old one from the late 19th century, but he broke into economics through the back door and occupied what had long been treated as heterodox institutional economics, so-called old institutionalism. Well, he noted that by consuming, people signal to those around them the social status, their class affiliation. How do you show that you are rich if not by consuming? How do you gain the attention, respect, etc. that comes with this position? After all, it's difficult to show off with the bank statement. And when I dressed appropriately in branded clothing that everyone knows or should know costs crores, then the goal has been achieved. We know that time is money, and as it has been hammered onto our heads since we were little, it should be handled with care and attention and spent on things that benefit us, preferably on additional education, languages, training, acquaintances, in what? Investing in ourselves, investing in health, contacts. And if I now start to waste this time and show that I have a lot of it and devote it to trips, fun, holidays, all the things we show on social media, then I'm communicating to others that I'm so rich already that I can even throw away handfuls of such precious time. I will have a similar effect by wasting money or other resources. That is what I said at the beginning by invoking a suggestive film, bathing in champagne, eating gold-sprinkled cupcakes, and so on. But this trick only works if I show it to others, so lying on the sofa is here of no use. But playing golf, bungee jumping, yes, it's not only a lot of fun, but also it serves no purpose, and so it's the best way to show one's status. And indeed, such consumption for show, familiar to you from institutional economics, discovers relevance in explaining consumption and its changes in societies. As income rises, the leisure budget for gadgets, for clothes in societies increases. The urge to show oneself to be one of the better ones belonging to the upper class demands more and more of us as middle class income rises. It may no longer be enough to simply have a car and be able to go on holiday, but you have to have a certain car and an exceptional holiday. It is no longer enough to have a college, but has to be the best one, after which the graduates are in demand. The prom is no longer at school, but at an exclusive hotel. Thus, consumption, even before entering adulthood, seems to know no moderation. It has, of course, been fostered by the rising average income of richer societies and increasing social mobility. Stopping at appetites could easily have meant not keeping up and falling down the social hierarchy. Signaling position was so important that the associated consumption was not even stopped by crisis and the associated sustained decline in income. One study shows how the middle class since 2009 crisis, unwilling to part with the adopted lifestyle, went into ever greater debt. The fear of falling down the social ladder, of being excluded, of being counted among those who have failed and cannot afford, can be so acute that we would sooner use up all our own and the planet's resources, heating up its temperature in the process, than withdraw from such competition. But as we cannot break out of this pattern, others who will join the rich societies of the North in the wake of climate change will not be able. After all, the migrants arriving on our doorstep, and among them the growing number of so-called climate refugees, our guild, are also likely to orient themselves towards the middle class lifestyle, because nobody wants to be at the bottom. In this way, the number of people needing 3 planets or more to meet their needs will increase. That is to say, if we don't stop the inequality driving such a mechanism and modify increasingly resource and emission-intensive lifestyle, a very unsustainable way of meeting needs now, then it will be too late. The machine will go and the planet will not longer be enough for us to meet even our most basic needs. Perhaps it's worth considering, otherwise we end in the darkness.